Kit Guru is with Cooler Master at CES 2023 in a rather noisy room that contains a great deal of interesting stuff. We've got fans and cooling hardware, power supplies, cases and such like, but Cooler Master wants to talk about the experience. Turn around, Luke, there's something going on behind you. This is their ORB X, which is about $15,000, pounds, euros of pod. It's about 8 feet tall and it closes down over the gamer to give them an experience. Now, there's no suggestion that you might actually want to pay $15,000, pounds, euros for your own pod or orb. The idea instead is that there might be hotels that have a room with one of these devices. To the left, we've got driving simulators. Cooler Master tells us they've been developing these for about a year. I had absolutely no idea this was something they were working on. So here we have a driving simulator with 3 screens wrapping around, very wide screens curving around, and it's a kind of F1 style setup. And if we move to the left, we have the guts of the system, and this is more of a touring car kind of setup and without the screens in place. You can see what they're talking about. The thing is, this hardware has mainly been bought in by Cooler Master. They're not manufacturing this hardware themselves at present, although they tell us they have plans to do exactly that. There's another experience just around the corner, Luke. Let's go and take a look. Where we see Davinci playing a game on a seat that moves around and also buzzes his parts. This is the Motion 1. The price for this is going to be a little over 2,000, it's about 2,300 they say. I think that still needs to be finalised. So expensive, but not absolutely eye-wateringly expensive. And we've all actually rather enjoyed having a play with this, rather more so in fact than we expected that we would. A very quick glance at some keyboards that Cooler Master's working on. These 4 are MK770, and I must confess I've forgotten what these 2 are. The point here is they're looking at different colours and styling. They've got 4 choices here of the MK770. They're only going to go with 2. Which 2 exactly remains to be seen. Interesting to see, not a natural for the British market, I have to think. And indeed, when we come around here, we have some Sakura special editions, which are for the Japanese market. I imagine that would be called Apricot. They are considering whether those might reach a wider market, such as Europe or North America. I remain to be convinced whether they'll sell well outside Japan, but certainly interesting. There's a huge amount to see with Cooler Master. Power supplies, we've got a table of the things. So for example, these GX3s are updates to existing models, and almost the most significant point here is you have a variety of wattages: 550, 650, 750, 850, 1050 and 1250. Of course, the big thing at the moment is ATX 3.0 support. And we can see that, oh look, there we go, the 12-volt high power connector is present and correct. While those GX3s are bread and butter power supplies, the thing that really caught our attention, the SFX units. So this again, ATX3, rated at platinum. This is an 1100 watt SFX power supply that can indeed power your RTX 4090 graphics card. Just yesterday we saw a 1000 watt SFX that was ATX3, today 1100 watts. Who knows what tomorrow might bring. The V Platinum 1300 30-year anniversary. Quite funny to see, but apparently Cooler Master customers are an incredibly loyal bunch. Anniversary products floats their boats, even power supplies. On this table of cooling, we have a variety of Mobius fans, Mobius 120 and 140 with RGB in black and in white. However, this is the Mobius 120 OC. The Mobius 120 OC will run up to 3,200 RPM, which is just wow. On the cable, we have a little toggle switch. We've seen in the past some Cooler Master fans that had a toggle switch on the motor hub. The snag was that once you'd set the fan profile and then installed the fan, you were then obliged to remove the fan to get access to the switch. Having the switch on the cable, that makes a lot more sense. These fans are going to be relatively expensive, heading towards £40, euros, dollars a piece. However, they have a lifetime warranty. They're saying that that's at least in part down to the double ball bearing design, so they clearly have complete faith in this high-performance fan that is coming soon. How many times have we seen Hyper 212 on a cooler? This is the Halo series, so it's been cosmetically tweaked and has a new fan. But the thing that really caught Luke and mine's attention is the Hyper 622, which is two 212s put together in a monster great big dual tower cooler. The Hyper 212 has a huge and long history behind it. It gives you faith that the 622 will also be a success. And here we have the MF120 Halo 2 fans that will be used on these updated 212 and 622 coolers. The MA824 Stealth is a hefty great cooler. We don't yet have full details on it, in particular in regard to how much power it can handle, but they're talking in the order of 250 watts. And as the saying goes, check out those heat pipes. That is the explanation for how this cooler is intending to deliver epic cooling performance. Naturally, we have to reserve our final judgment until we get our hands on a model that we can actually review, but this certainly looks interesting. Cube 500 is an interesting case that's coming very soon. It's going to be cheap, in the order of £80 euros dollars, which seems quite remarkable. The explanation is it's flat packed, so these various panels clip together. 1, 2, 3, 4 panels, 5, 6, and then accessories such as the handles. You won't get a choice of colours in the box. It will be either what we call that, turquoise or yellow or
a very organised person.
Emergency lime green. And you can see the corresponding handles. However, you will in the box have a tempered glass side panel and also an airflow side panel. So you'll be able to choose which of the two panels you wish to install on your build. The fact the panels snap together is interesting. It means the metalwork has to be highly finished, whereas when you're riveting things together, in essence, the rivets will overcome any minor imperfections. This, you would think, adds to the cost. However, the flat packing means that the case in the box is only half the size of a conventional case. It means they can get twice as many cases on a pallet, and therefore in a shipping container. Therefore, cheaper shipping costs. So, £80. Impressive. Oracle Air is an enclosure for your M.2 SSD. So far they've tested it with a Gen 4 SSD, not yet a Gen 5. It'll be interesting to see how the cooling works with that mighty beast inside it, to quote Luke Hill of Kit Guru. Priced at about £50 euros dollars, looks interesting. And we have a USB 3.1 Gen 2, I think we agreed, connection, 10 gigabits per second. I'm looking at Luke for confirmation.
1,050 megabytes per second transfer rate.
1,050 megabytes per second, he says, from behind the camera. So reasonably expensive, but then aluminium is going to add to the cost. We like that. This is gem. What on earth is gem? Go around the side, Luke. Gem is the answer to how can you put your headphone or AR holder on glass, or indeed aluminium or any non-magnetic material. You've got a magnetic back plate that's also got rubber on it and quite a strong magnet, and a little self-adhesive pad, so you can stick this on the inside of your glass, aluminium or whatever panel that's non-magnetic, and then you can offer up the holder, which can take up to 2 kilos of weight. They're saying that an AR headset, this is just a conventional pair of headphones, an AR headset should weigh about 1 kilo. When you drop it on, it might give a force of about 1.5 kilos. Not the force is measured in kilos, and therefore we're good. And here we can see a Cooler Master controller on a gem. Apparently the gem is derived from the shape. It looks like a gem. It also happens to look like a Cooler Master logo, kind of. Or indeed a hexagon. These two cases are the same as each other, just in black and white. MasterBox TD500 Mesh V2. There's the only updated case we've seen doing a round of this enormous suite. It's slightly expensive at 109, might drop to 99 in time. It's had a cosmetic refresh from the existing V1, been very popular, no fan at the rear. 3 fans in the front, and you get this unusual engraved glass panel. We were told, and this shocked both myself and Luke, that glass panels are actually cheaper at the moment than steel panels. We did not expect that. So the fact they've put engraved glass panels on a relatively budget case is not quite as shocking as it first sounds. This is a PC case, and I'm just going to let that sink in. Cooler Master is one of those companies that holds competitions with modders, and this was a winning design. And they've decided to make it into an actual PC case, such that there is a spec on this card over here. So mini ITX as you'd expect, and SFX power. We look forward to seeing the final product, that's all I can say, because it seems utterly bonkers. Luke was hoping that these shock absorbers meant that the case was actually mechanical and could walk. It is not. Furthermore, we have no idea what it's going to cost, presumably quite a lot. But wow, isn't that just fun? Here we have a NUC, and this set off some debate among us because it's large. This is an almost final design that's waiting for approval from Intel. Somewhat bizarrely, this is going to be a complete PC that's shipped with a 12th gen 12900 from Intel and DDR4 memory. The spec of it slightly baffles us. You will note it has a full-size graphics card, and that's really the essence of this system. So it's small by PC standards, but large by NUC standards, and also dusty. We have no idea about pricing, and of course at the moment it's not certain that this will be the PC that goes on sale because it's awaiting approval from Intel. We've seen systems built into the NR200 that pack huge performance into a small space. This is betwixt and between. This is fascinating. Cooling X, as it says, is the code name for this system, which is a liquid-cooled PC. What you're looking at here is the inside of one of the 2 side panels. We'll see the system in just a second, but the idea is that the side panel it's not passively cooled, it's semi-passively because there are some fans at the rear of the system. But the channels are used, coolant's pumped around these channels, and then the panel itself delivers some cooling. The reservoir here is only for the demo. The side panel itself is the reservoir, and this is the pump. As you can see, the Cooler Master people are busy dismantling the case to let the next people have a look inside. There we have the side panel coming off, revealing the cooling system. We have to say, with projects like Cooling X, they are fascinating to us. Cooler Master clearly, literally has cooling in its name. The fact they come up with something new to do with liquid cooling of PCs using the side panel of the case for passive cooling, we really like seeing that. As to whether this will be a reasonably priced product or brutally expensive, we frankly have no idea. But we're hoping it's a relatively budget way of bringing liquid cooling to the mainstream PC market, and that will help to keep gaming PCs nice and compact. And we're finishing up here with a shark. Yes, it's a PC, yes, it's utterly nuts, and it's got a load of RGB. It looks absolutely mind-blowing. If this is truly a product, well, we'll be astonished, and we'd love to see what the build process looks like. Potentially this would be one for James, because he likes that sort of thing. But holy moly, there's some fun and games at Cooler Master. That was a whistle-stop tour of this enormous booth that Cooler Master has at CES 2023. Loads of products, many of them coming incredibly soon. Some of them are quite clearly blue skies thinking. I have to say I was gravely skeptical about those haptic chairs that buzz away as you're watching movies and playing games. Even those were actually a lot more fun than we first thought. Well done, Cooler Master, we've had a blast. Now do please do that social media thing of giving us thumbs up, leaving comments and likes. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so immediately. And we'll see you in the next video.